That's how you guys know.
Good intro.
We can't get a serious moment out in this.
All right, go ahead.
I kept thinking about it and I kept getting more hot. Yo, this is what you care more about? So I slammed the shit on the floor. How about you guys? What's going on in your lives?
Not as violent as yours.
Not smashing phones over here.
Thanks, Dix. So the kid, his whole face hit the floor. All I see is blood on his face. Pick him up. Tooth from the root. The shit was like this big. It felt like he just was not there. Like it was the fucking scariest shit I've ever been through. That's how you guys know.
Good intro. All right, go.
Yo, Manny was a dick last night to his kid.
Yo, hold on. First of all, it's not common for me to speak to one of y'all when I'm going through one of my moments in fatherhood, right? So it just so happened that E and I were playing phone tag, and then eventually I went through some shit. I'll explain in a second, and then I call him back to follow up on what we were talking about. And so he caught me like right after I had a blowout with one of my kids. So I'm like down. I'm not feeling well. That's just not a happy time. And so happens that, so we've talked about this in the past, like kids.
What? Not me?
Yo, Kay and his little ad libs over here. Is that
it? Yo, who's crazy with me? Yeah.
Yo, we can't get a serious moment out in this.
All right, go ahead.
He's like,
and usually it's E. Now it's fucking K, bro.
You know he's delirious with shit. His life right now, he's delirious with. He's like, oh yeah, zigga zing.
Yo, so E catches me right after I have this blowout with my son, right? And so I'm like, I'm not my usual like uppity self. Like I'm kind of low key, little down.
He was Darth Manny.
Yeah, I was Darth Manny. But what happened was, so my son and his fucking devices, bro. Like this is the crux of what happened. I've been telling him for weeks now, probably months at this point, like, yo, you keep picking the wrong thing as your priority. And it consistently happens to be a little iPhone that he got that was like in a closet somewhere in a shoebox that I found. And I was like, yo, here, bro, like you can have it. We'll connect it to Wi-Fi. You can use it when you're around the house or whatever. But I was like, yo, but the minute that this thing becomes your priority, we're going to have problems. So for like a couple months, I've been like, yo, go, for instance, if he goes to practice, usually his practices are a little late in the evening. So it butts up against when he's got to go to, take a shower and get ready for bed. And usually he comes home hungry from practice. So we always talk like, yo, let's get out of practice quick so you can get home, eat, take your shower, and be ready to bed so you don't go over your bedtime. And it's always like this thing, always got to constantly be reminding him. And like that, there's a bunch of other things. But ultimately, yesterday, that's what it was around. He had practice, came home. We had discussed like, yo, you're going to eat, then you're going to go handle your business and get ready for bed. And I don't see, like, we walk in the house, I don't see him. He jets upstairs, and I go handle some stuff down in the basement. And I hear the shower upstairs. So I'm like, okay, he's taking a shower. Cool. I thought he was going to eat first, but he decided to take a shower. That's fine. Like, that's within the bounds of what we talked about. And then it happened to be that my wife was taking a shower, and he was in his room on his device. and it's already late. Like I'm like, yo, you just wasted at least 15 minutes while I was doing what I was doing and you had disappeared. Me giving him the benefit of the doubt, thinking he's doing the right thing, right? So I hear her beefing with him about being on his device because we're both on the same page on that. And then he comes downstairs with it, and I'm like, "Yo, give me your iPhone. Like, you know exactly what it is you're supposed to do, and you're not doing it, so give it to me." And then, yo, I kept thinking about it, and I kept getting more hot, and I'm screaming at him now. And I'm like, yo, I can't believe you're doing this again. Like, this is crazy. You know you're not supposed to be yada yada yada. And I'll say, like, yo, my son is a model citizen. Like, I don't have many issues, if any. Like, if I have an issue with him, I'm really nitpicking. Like, he is really diligent, really responsible, like all checks all the boxes. And I'm going at him because my biggest issue where he fails in life is when that screen is in his face. That's when it all unravels. So I got so hot. I grabbed it. And after a little while, I was like, yo, this is what you care more about? Because I'm debating with him. I'm like, yo, you got to eat. Your nutrition matters more than this fucking thing. So I slammed this shit on the floor. Shh. Shatter screen. So he's like holding it together. He's not crying or anything yet. But you know that shit bugged him. And he was like, yo, you did that shit on purpose? I'm like, I mean, I was in an emotional fucking tirade, but yeah, I knew what I was doing. Like, it wasn't like I dropped the shit out by accident. Like, no, I purposely did it. Not with necessarily ill intent, but more from frustration.
Mm-hmm.
And and I'm still going at him. And then finally I'm like, yo, I gotta chill. Cause you remember a couple of weeks ago, I'm worried about this kid having a breakdown with, just the way he sometimes feels sad out of nowhere and that kind of stuff. So I'm like, all right, I remember that. And I'm like, yo, chill. Cause I don't want this to be a traumatic event
that triggers.
Yeah, that triggers shit like that. So I calm it back down and I'm like more calm. And I'm like, yo, I don't hate you. I still love you with all of my heart. I'm very disappointed because we've been here before. And, I'm calmly speaking to him. Now he's starting to tear up. And I'm feeling heartbroken because of what I just did, both the screaming and busting up his phone. So we're talking, and I see him like, starting to cry. And then I'm like, all right, why are you crying? Like, let's dig into the feelings here and understand, like, is it you're scared? Is it that your phone broke and you're upset? Keep it real with me. Like, what is it? And he couldn't really articulate it, but I kind of started poking around, and it's essentially me feeling disappointed hurts him because he doesn't want to let me down. And then that makes me feel even fucking worse. Cause I'm like, yo, I just
and the phone was broken. let's not get it twisted now.
and if he touches the screen of the phone, he's gonna cut his hand. Yes, exactly. Okay. So it was just a wild like 15 minutes yesterday. And then I get on the phone with E and I'm just like, I'm not in it, bro. I'm like out of it. And I could hear in E's voice surprise because y'all don't really see me in that kind of light.
You're usually the more upbeat out of all of us.
Right. And not that I don't go through my shit and I try to share as much of it here, but like that happened like immediately following. So he got the real like emotion behind the whole shit, the way I was feeling at the time. And I found it funny because I'm like, damn, like we talk about like you guys sometimes look at me as the not the North Star, but like having older kids that gone through some of this shit, before you guys have. And I'm like in my worst. So I'm like, fuck, I'm letting them down now. Like I'm letting the kid down. So I'm feeling all sorts of guilt.
Come on, man.
But you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. But I also wonder, like, going back to your son for a second, it also just like I wonder if this is just kind of a normal thing for the age too, because just much like you, like my son is very much, I got no, he's not given problems. You know, he's the, what'd you call your son? Model citizen
Model
type?
citizen. Yeah.
Yeah. Same here. But when it comes to handling business at the end of the night, the distraction comes, like then we end up having family issues because, you know, everyone just wants to get focused and get things done. But then there's a lot of like distraction that happens and it feels like we have these same these same, I'll call them a conversation, but these same things over and over again. And, and, and it ends up, you know, being none of us are happy at the end, you know, him included. And I'm just like, yo, dude, you hold the key here so we don't have these kind of things going on. I don't know. I wonder if it's just something.
Yeah, I mean, I think
at the age,
kids are built in with the squirrel mentality. Squirrel, like they're easily distracted. I mean, I know mine are young, and that's normal. Yeah. Like I'm about to hire Manny to come to my crib and grab my phone, throw it, and break it into pieces and berate me.
Oh, I'll do that shit for free.
Right.
Yeah, man. So like,
so how did you guys end up at the end of the night? Did you squash it with him, or
I had to, bro.
Okay.
I couldn't let that shit just because I'll be Mr. Petty sometimes and just like let that shit, fuck it, whatever.
But do you apologize? Is there an apology from you? Okay.
Of course, yeah. I apologized last night when he woke up this morning. I also had, you know, kind of a follow-up conversation and apologized again.
Now, did he own his part of how it progressed?
He did.
Okay.
Yeah, he owned it. But I think what he shared with my wife when I wasn't around was like me screaming.
He's mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did it scare him? Did you scare him?
I think that in the moment it scared him. I don't think he's scared of me.
All right.
Yeah.
So wait, like you think like it surprised him because you don't usually do that?
I mean, no, I don't usually do it, but he's seen me like that before.
Right.
But I don't think the magnitude of what he thinks he did matches
where you were at,
what he got, you know, where I got. So I think that was the shock.
It's funny how things can poke you. Like when you're going through some stressful times or you just got a lot going on, and then it's just something small can happen from your kids, and it just fucking blows out of control.
And that's my question: is what happened with him and the way you reacted all about what happened with him, or do you think you were tapping into other anger that you had over other things?
It's a good question. I didn't even stop to think about it. I was having a pretty good week up until that. So am I stressed? I have to imagine there's something, right? But nothing that I was necessarily giving any real credence to.
Right.
I could think of. So, you know, and I try to analyze that shit too, because these blow-ups are not like things I'm always trying to improve these things because they happen. And they're like, if you ask my wife, I was like a prepubescent child, the way my emotions got the best of me, to now, like, there's still moments where my tone is whack, fucking me blowing up for shit that others feel like is not that big a deal still happens. So there's still these moments, but in this particular case, it was, I guess I was just like afraid of what this translates to in the future. Like I almost went forward years and I'm like, yo, this kid skipped the whole fucking meal because he was so busy with this thing and he missed his opportunity to eat. Like, and that has residual effects if he consistently does it. So that's more where my head was. And that's what triggered, like, that fear translated into this, you know, attack essentially on my son. And, you know, the phone is resting in pieces.
Eventually you'll pay for that.
I'm already working on it. I already put an APB out on a old iPhone that I could use for Wi-Fi purposes.
Oh man.
But yeah,
but you know, that's but it is kind of scary. I mean, just the fact that Well, this goes back to like kids and phones and everything. The fact that even though that was just like a Wi-Fi purpose, God, imagine what it would be like if it was fully functioning.
Yeah, nah, he'd be locked into that shit all the time. Yeah, bro. I don't know. I shed a few tears last night. I was just like, man, God help me, bro. Like, I don't want to be this fucking monster, but here I am. But today I woke up a lot better, thankfully. But yeah, I needed that moment of reconciliation, if you will. Took me to church right quick. How about you guys? What's going on in your lives?
Not as violent as yours.
Not smashing phones over here.
Thanks, Dix.
What were we supposed to remind you of?
So has any of your kids in their younger ages or even at all had to deal with a cavity?
Thankfully, no. But my wife in particular has stayed on my son's ass about like super crazy dental care and hygiene. Yeah.
So nobody's had any dental issues with their kids?
Well, I've had dental issues, just not cavities.
With the kids?
With my son, yeah.
Where they had to do like procedures on the mouth?
Oh, bro, let me tell you real quick so you can feel better, because I think what you're about to tell me is probably nothing as crazy as this. So,
and you got to tell me age too, because this is where it really matters.
My son was 1? No,
1?
He wasn't 1. He was 3. Yeah, 1
with
doesn't
a cavity?
make any sense. The 1 doesn't make any sense. He was 3.
He said no, it's something else.
He was 3.5. We were
so close to my son, who's 4.
Okay. Hey, the good news is those teeth are going to go away anyway, so you just yank them out now.
No, I'm not worried about the teeth themselves. I'm worried about the experience. But go ahead.
Okay. So we're at a restaurant somewhere here in New York. He falls, and he didn't. For some reason, my son wasn't built like he didn't have breaking his fall built into who he was. So the kid, his whole face hit the floor. Right. He didn't break his fall with his hands. So all I see is blood on his face. Pick him up. Tooth from the root. The shit was like this big, was on the floor. Damn. And then he had like fucked up other teeth next to it. Right. So of course we're in a fucking panic. We're, figuring what to do. We go the next day to, I guess it's an orthodontist. Yeah, a specialist of some sort. He evaluates him. He kind of does what he can to kind of, make things a little bit more comfortable. And then it turns out we have to take out more teeth in order for them to grow back correctly or whatever, because they got kind of jammed up.
Oh, it'll fuck his jawline up. Yeah,
all that shit. So we had to take him to a specialist that does this. I don't know the terms for these guys, but this doctor numbs my son, right? It was full body. So it was a full body anesthesia. It didn't take. Yeah, it didn't take.
Okay, go.
No, I'm bugging.
Full body.
I'm bugging. It was from the head up. It was all here.
This guy.
But he was.
You thinking of that other experience you had? What the?
Yo, but he was knocked out. He was knocked out. He was unconscious.
Wow. But they made him unconscious?
Yeah. He was knocked out.
Oh, so he was like an oral surgeon. He went to
an oral surgeon. Yeah. So the first anesthesia shot didn't take. So they did another one.
So how is he knocked out though?
The second time he got knocked out.
Oh, okay.
Before they performed the surgery. So they go through whatever. The surgery was fine. Yo, when it was so hard for him to come back from being under.
Oh my goodness.
Yo,
really?
Yo, the scariest fucking experience of my life. Like this kid was like drunk would have been a good thing compared to the state that he was in. Like he was like he couldn't talk. Like it felt like he just was not there. Like it was the fucking scariest shit. And over a few hours, it resolved, and the doctor kept reassuring us it would be fine. But yo, I was almost inconsolable. Like it was the fucking scariest shit I've ever been through. So that was his experience. Everything worked out. Things grew in the way it was supposed to. He now has braces to kind of correct some of the shit because things moved. But now we got to go back and take out molars to have his braces set his teeth in properly. So he's got to go get anesthesia again, and I'm again having some of that trauma from that original experience.
So when you said when they put him under, they did put a mask on him?
I think it was an injection.
Because okay, so my son has a cavity, right? And he has to go get a filling. But I can't imagine. My son's already like not with it. I can't fathom how the dentist is gonna do it with my son being still.
I don't know. I didn't realize they did fillings for baby teeth.
Apparently the tooth that he has is one of the last teeth that are gonna come out. So that's why they have to do it.
Okay, got it.
So
you're trying to figure out how they're gonna do it in the most comfortable way, so he's not like wilding out or whatever.
He's not gonna let them do it. So like I'm gonna have to hold him down. Like I don't know how this is gonna work. You know, and I feel bad for him because I know he's, you know, like how do you keep a kid's mouth open that doesn't want to have a freaking injection in the mouth? Like how do you do that? And I'm trying to figure out how do these dentists do it for these kids? And when we take them, they don't do anything special. Like we do have to hold them.
They're gonna inject him. I think it's in the lower, like almost like the cheek, is where.
Yeah. I mean, I've had stuff. I've had 3 root canals, so I know the whole.
Oh damn.
Yeah. No. I had 3 root canals in my early, late teens.
What you was eating? Rocks, bro?
No, we were look. When I moved here from LA, the last thing on the list was going to the dentist.
Yeah.
No, for real. The last thing was I didn't go to a dentist, and I wasn't telling my mom, "Hey," we're reminding her, "Hey, let's go to the dentist." And then when and I was like, eating candy, whatever. So when I finally went, I had 3 root canals. But trust me, that experience set me on the path to model dentist, customer or whatever, patient. Because I go every year, and they're like, "Oh man, everything's great," and I get the cleanings and all that. But yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what's gonna happen with my son.
You're going to a pediatric dentist, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's Dr. Juancho from Cuba. Oh yeah, I said it.
They put the cartoons on the TV for him.
They give him guava flavored.
Yeah. Did you ask them at all? Like, what's the process? How do you make sure this kid is?
I wasn't there the last time when this happened. My wife went, but the funny thing is, my son's like, for this, he knows he's gonna get something's gonna happen, and he's like, "Dad, I need you to be there.
You gotta come."
Yeah,
I would just ask them just so you have some peace of mind. Like my experience, and again, I haven't had outside of this extreme scenario, I can't remember having a situation where like a cavity or they had to get injected otherwise. I have to believe that the pediatric dentist has a good game plan for this kind of shit, and I'm sure your son is probably mild compared to some of the wild shit that they've seen. So I would just ask him so you have an understanding and maybe you can start to explain it to him. But
I don't know, bro. Have you guys ever dealt with pediatric anything and you think your kid isn't that bad, but they're not being cooperative, and it seems like the professional doesn't know what to do. They're like, hold your kid, like they're looking, and I'm like, yo, aren't you the pro? Don't you see kids every day? Like in my mind, I'm kind of confused as to like, I know my kid's not the worst you've dealt with.
I think it's probably also a what's the word I'm looking for? Not a legal issue, but one of those things where they got to be careful about how you touch patients or hold down someone else's child and shit like that.
I mean, I don't expect them to hold. I don't mind that they tell me to hold, but I'm just saying it just seems like they don't have a lot of techniques. They're just like they back off like, oh, he's wilding out. Okay. Hey, hold your kid, like, and I'm like, I mean, don't you, the hand puppet doesn't come out, the right. Shiny light, the lot, like, I don't know, like, what the fuck, bro? Like, I'm just a little confused and worried. Do you think I should call though before, or just when I get there?
No, you should call and ask what the procedure is.
I would definitely get the 411 before you get over there. So you just because if you're given those tools and you can understand it, and then you ask your questions to make sure, you're going to be the best interpreter for your kid. And then you could, if you feel like it makes sense to do so, you can relay that information in a way he can understand it, and create a sense of safety, so that when you get in there, you can kind of walk them through it a little bit, because you're gonna have to help the dentist, because that's your kid. Like, there's certain things they're not gonna touch your kid. There's a lot of things that they're not gonna do. So it's better you are informed and you're kind of prepared, so that way you can navigate this shit properly.
Yeah, I know my son's gonna have a tough time. That's for sure.
I mean, with that kind of attitude, of course.
No, I just know my kids. They're just not. I mean, what person likes needles anywhere?
Nobody. My youngest daughter is a drama queen for everything. So even like a cleaning was it at first like this big treacherous thing, and then because of the way the dentist is set up, they got the TV there. It's a very colorful place. Like, all this shit helped ease her, and then they go through the process and they kind of make jokes as they go along, and she bought in. And for her, I mean, it's not a needle. It's not a needle, but she was able to deal with it.
No, this is Kevola dentistry.
Maybe we need to move you to a non-Cuban facility.
I don't even know if they're cute, but
see if Manny's got an extra iPhone you could use to hook up to the Wi-Fi.
Manny smash.
Oh man.
Ay, Dios.
Y'all ready for Halloween? Everybody celebrate Halloween here, or we got some non-believers?
Non-believers.
Yeah.
Nah, I love it.
I love Halloween.
I love
it. Okay, you're not with it?
No, I mean, I don't get all crazy about it, but we definitely, no, my son, he loves it.
He gave up all that paganism.
He's ready to rock.
We should all meet up in Salem next year.
Yeah.
I do that shit. That shit sounds ill.
I know. I'd do it too.
You just got to go with a little pull cart, fill that shit up with ice and some beverages of the adult variety, and just walk around, bro. Trick or treat.
Yep.
All right, boys. Well, thank you for the therapy. That was helpful. And audience, if you have similar situations, like, share with us, bro. Like, we don't know everything, and again, disclaimer, we're not pros. We don't pretend to be pros, and our advice is really just for us. So if you take it, that's on you. We're just some weirdos on the internet that talk shit. But share, bro. Like, for real. Like, if there's some helpful tips, like, we always welcome them and try to incorporate them into our own lives. So help a brother.
Oh, and lastly, if you want a movie to watch with the family, check out the Pharrell Lego movie.
Oh, you saw it? Yes.
I peeped it, yeah. And my boy Nori, he's a Lego, and that's pretty dope to see him in there.
That's ill. So wait, real quick, the story behind him being a Lego, was he casted to be that, or that just kind of?
So this is Pharrell's way of doing a biopic differently.
Oh, okay.
It's basically it's actually, I think I got nominated for best documentary already.
Oh wow. Oh, okay. It's like for real biopic.
It's for real.
Pharrell.
It's about his life, but more about the music side of it. Like how it all started, and it kind of covers like the highlights of his career with the artist. And what he did is he had people do voiceovers without knowing that that's what it was. They just thought they were doing voices or like narration for a documentary. He didn't tell them it was for a Lego movie, that they would be Legos. Nori didn't know it. He did like 2-3 years ago, and he didn't know it. He didn't know what he was doing.
That's so dope.
Yeah,
cool. I'll definitely check that out.
Dope.
And you guys check out the Lego movie. All right, Fatherhood's out.
Later.